Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Wrath of the Righteous with me, Bring It On. Entered Chili Creek finally. I think we've been trying to get here for what, 2 episodes? I would have entered and pre-buffed off camera, but I didn't want to risk triggering dialogue or a cutscene, which turns out there's nothing to worry about anyway.
No mistakes.
So we're not going to fully buff up.
On the goal.
Together, we stand.
I'm only going to cast all of Seela's and Arushali's buffs, and then the important ones from Nenio and Social, like Death Ward, Blur, Greater Heroism. Oh yeah, and I noticed off camera that Seela, Social, and Arushali had empty spell slots, so I took care of that as well. Not sure what caused that. I think they had lost levels at some point. I just don't recall when that happened.
Beauty with your heart, not your eyes.
A little strength buff on these guys. Elemental resistances are also important.
You are my favorite aid.
Alright, I have an idea for this as well. Let's get rid of that. Where's it at? Animal growth on Bucephalus. Then enlarge person on the main character.
The goddess protects us.
Are we ready to move out?
Alright, get blur on everybody. I think this will do it. Alright. Should be all set. Quick save and proceed.
I'll go ahead.
Wait, does Bismuth have his equipment equipped? He does. Good job, Bismuth. Alright, pretty sure this is the same stuff we read last time. Commander, the cleric is lying on the riverbank. The sand is soaked with his blood. Save Melissa. What happened to you? This village. So beautiful, so peaceful, so many good people living here. But something has been worrying me since the day I came here. I couldn't stop thinking about all the strange rituals in the grove, and all the weird conversations about firstborns being doomed to die. I try not to think too much about it. If the villagers were not willing to embrace the faith of Aristol, I didn't want to appear judgmental, but I was wrong. I should have trusted my instincts. There is great evil at work in this village. When Melissa and I decided to get married, she told me that she wanted to do it under the rites of Aristol. I hadn't asked her to do that, but she had already made up her mind. It was entirely her decision. She asked me not to tell Markle about it. We tried to keep things quiet, but he found out about it anyway. But he grew more and more gloomy with every passing day. I did not understand what was going on until Melissa finally told me the truth, something that everyone else in the village knew, except for me. Locals perform their wedding rites upstream, in the isle on a boat. The bride is supposed to take off her wreath and send it floating down the stream, while she recites a horrible, profane oath that I do not wish to repeat. You see, when she gave away her wreath, she also promises to give her firstborn to the river, body, mind, and soul. It may not happen right away, it may take years, but in the end, the river will always take what belongs to it. And Markle is a few minutes older than Melissa. Do you see? The Eye Man whispers hoarsely. You can hear the anguish in his voice. The people of Chili Creek believe that they worship the river, but these rites are not druidic in nature. They are not the rituals of the Green Faith, or the cultic practices of some minor deity. No, this malevolent force, whatever it is, has a physical presence in this world. Marco has lost his mind. His parents swore to give him to this monster. Now it's deprived him of his sanity. He took Melissa to the Isle. That's probably where the monster lives, where sacrifices to it are made. This village lies on the borders of the World Wound. It is not protected by ward stones. The villagers were so proud that their river protected them from demons, but it seems that this protection was nothing more than one monster's attempt to keep other monsters away from its hunting ground. So, the locals sacrifice their firstborns to the river, and the bridal wreath is part of the ritual. Not exactly. The locals are decent people. They don't kill their children with their own hands. The wreath is a sign of obedience. The future parents agree that the river can take their firstborns whenever it wants. It has the right to take their bodies, or their minds. It can summon them at any time, and demand services from them. And sometimes, the river exercises that right. There's more. Marco was the firstborn son, the older twin. When he did this to me, he wasn't himself anymore. I believe that the river took control of him. Whatever monster the locals worship has been controlling his thoughts and actions. What must I do to save Melissa? Marco took her to Pikefin. It's an isle in the middle of the river. You can see it from here. Indeed, if you look closely, you can see a small rocky isle, partially obscured by the river mist. Something drove him insane. The evil that has controlled this village for all these years, it lives on the isle. Take one of the boats from the village, and set her free. You need help. No, it is too late for me. I can already hear Aristotel's hunting horn. My god is waiting for me. All I ask is that you save my wife. My journey through this world. The cleric can barely speak. He coughs up blood and continues weakly. My journey is over. You've been gravely injured. Who did this to you? Markle. He wounded me and threw me into the river. I guess he thought I'd drown, but somehow I made it back to shore. Perhaps it was the old Deadeye himself who helped me, so that I could speak to you. The cleric is having difficulty breathing. Markle. But it isn't his fault. He hasn't been himself. The evil of the river has driven him insane. He must be stopped at all costs, but if you can, if it's at all possible, try to save him too. Farewell, Jernoff. Rest in peace. Save her. The cleric's breath is shallow and ragged. His quivering lips go still, his eyes close, and he passes away to his god. I mean, I think we could have saved him. We have social and mythic powers at our disposal.
Let's try this way.
Dream.
Begone,
Okay, well these are
fiend!
new.
Follow my lead.
Guess we'll explore the whole island and see, or not the whole island, the whole village and see if there's new enemies everywhere. Alright, so there's a couple of different boats we can take.
As it should be.
How terrible. A murder. Nothing like that has ever happened in our village before. Another boat we can take. Well, they gave us a lot of options. Oh, it's blocked off. I can't go up there. Oh, wait, no, I have to do it from outside the village. That's right.
I know the way. Our victory is certain. This will...
Sorry, I don't need the whole party at this point.
Follow my lead.
Wish that would go away.
Danger ahead!
A calculated risk.
I will bring down the divine wrath.
As it should be.
Do you want to point out that these are Elder and Ancient Elementals we're taking out with batting an eye? Also not worth a ton of experience, are they? 120. Alright. Let's get a quick save and sail to the island. But what is more dangerous than predictability of nature or the hostile intentions of another? The malevolent force hiding on this isle is as wild, volatile, and ruthless as the natural world, but it also has a cunning intelligence, a devious and vindictive desire to keep away unwanted visitors. As soon as the commander reaches for the oars, the water around the boat turns into a thick sheet of ice that freezes the vessel in place. What will the commander do now? Try to break the ice with his weapon. Solid ice is strong, but metal is stronger. After a good deal of slashing and hacking, the boat is finally free from its icy shackles. The commander sets off for the shore of the small rocky isle, but his journey does not go unnoticed. It seems that someone on the isle does not like uninvited guests. I wonder how Finian feels about being used to chip away at some ice. Suddenly, the mist that rises from the surface of the river thickens to a dense cloud of fog. It blinds the commander and obscures his surroundings. Where is the shore? Where is the isle? The fog is so thick, the commander cannot even see the oar he is holding in his hands. What will the commander do now that he is blinded by fog? Close his eyes. It's time to navigate by sound rather than by sight. The sound of running water, the splash of a fish, the wind rustling through the branches of the forest, the sound of a bird chirping on a shore far away. All these sounds paint a picture in the commander's mind that no fog can hide. A light breeze slowly begins to dissipate the cloud of fog. The boat is headed straight toward the island. It will not be long before the commander reaches the black rocky shore of the Pikefin. So I might be misremembering, but I'm pretty sure all these book events have only described the commander doing these actions, where in Kingmaker, some of the prompts allowed you to select one of the companions out of your party, and then it would fill in the blank with your companion's name, which I think made a lot more sense. I preferred that system more than this one. Because right there, obviously my commander does not have that sort of perception. That was the land doing all the heavy lifting, but it described it as though my commander was the one doing the action, which we all know is not the case. The rocky isle is desolate and bare. Blue-gray lichen, a few sparse, struggling weeds, all that survive on its black rocky shore. Further inland, the entrance to a cave gapes open like a toothless mouth. Suddenly, a violent gust of wind sweeps out from the entrance of the cave toward the river. The water, which was calm only moments ago, begins to swell into massive, foaming waves that threaten to smash the boat into the boulders along the coast. How will the commander reach the shore? We're going to intimidate it. Call out to the unseen force that cast this spell, and demand to be allowed onto the isle. The commander's intimidating presence seems to frighten the storm into submission. The wind grows calm, and the waves subside. He steers the boat down the river toward the isle, and disembarks without any further complications. It's hard to believe that only moments ago, this calm, lazy river was a maelstrom of raging waves and rushing currents. They are still and peaceful. The howling gales and roaring winds have completely subsided. It reminds me a little bit, when I was really young, I used to imagine that natural disasters could be stopped with enough firepower. And I always thought to myself, why didn't we just send a bunch of men to the beach when a hurricane was approaching? Like tanks line the shore and just keep shooting at the hurricane until it goes away. And I imagine like ninjas sitting there throwing ninja stars and the whole 9 yards. Imagine like a 5-year-old's imagination and all the quote, I guess, violent people you could imagine being lined up on a beach fighting a hurricane, essentially. That's what my commander just did. The isle looks calm, but so did the river. Looks can be deceiving. Lichen-covered black boulders along the shore do not look like they have ever been disturbed. It would be easy to assume this isle was uninhabited. There are no bones, or traces of any rituals. But after moving further inland, the commander sees Markle's boat. It has been carefully pulled up onto the shore beyond the reach of the waves. Noises can be heard from within the cave ahead. There's a shrill, angry voice, followed by the sound of a woman's scream.
I'll go ahead.
When I say ninjas, I do specifically think Storm
glad it
Shadow,
was useful
which may have
to
been the
you.
inspiration behind that whole thought.
Interesting.
Begin with.
I sense something. I finished here.
For those of you who don't know,
What a
Storm Shadow
find.
is the white ninja from G.I. Joe.
I know what to do.
Please.
I'm going to send her
allow me.
ahead by herself.
I finished here. Is there more? I'm trusting you. Something is
There's so
not
many
right
traps.
here.
I don't want her to get too far
I
ahead.
sense something. I'm glad I was useful to you. I finished here. Is there more? I finished here. Is there more? I'm glad I was useful to you. I finished here. Is there more? I finished here. Is there more?
I know the way.
Alright, gonna quick save so we don't have to do that again. Wasn't there loot back here? Yes. Yes, there was. Alright.
Follow my lead.
Oh, great. Hags. The cave is cold and dark. The ground is covered in fog, and an icy current of air flows toward you from the depths of the cave. Water drips from the ceiling, and dim lanterns cast grotesque shadows on the walls. All these years, we've been worshipping the three of you. All our prayers to the icy rill, all our sacrifices, oh gods, and our children. It's been you the whole time. Melissa's huddled in a corner, clasping a withered wreath of grass and flowers to her chest. She looks like she's been crying. Standing in front of her are three horrifying old hags. Marco sits at their feet, like a faithful dog. What's so wrong with us, child? The old woman's skin is even whiter than her hair, and her breath hangs in the air like an icy mist. Her voice is kind, but her gentle words lack sincerity. Beneath her friendly exterior, she is cold and ruthless as ice. We do not wish to bring any harm to you or your brother, but unfortunately, you have not given us what we are owed. Deliver to the river what is rightfully hers, and both of you can leave in peace. You're always too soft, Levixia. This hag's voice sounds like the roar of the wind during a storm. Her skin is covered in spidery blue veins. Her eyes flash like lightning. Do what you're told, lass. Hand over that wreath, or face the consequences. You won't escape us. You can run. You can't hide from old Latinda. Larita, Levixia, my sisters. Do you hear me? You know what is destined to happen. What is destined to happen must happen. This old woman speaks in a whisper. Her blind eyes are as cloudy as the fog on the river, but she turns and points her finger at you resolutely. Look who has arrived. This is the one whose face was revealed to us in the dark waters. Alright, so they didn't assign her an element. So this one over here is wind. One to the bottom of the screen is ice. I wonder what she is. Probably fire. He's arrived already. Well, that is a surprise. The old woman clucks approvingly. We dislike uninvited guests. But you're clearly strong, agile, and smart. We appreciate those qualities in a person. Very well. Since you're here, you might as well come in. Melissa, are you alright? Commander, may I still be praised. Those Those things drove Markle crazy, made him kill my husband. I don't understand what they want. Please save us. So you praise the old stag now. Ungrateful child. Who has kept you fed, protected you from every danger? Did your mother worship the old hunter? How about your grandmother, or her grandmother before her? Did they offer him praise? I think not. The hag shakes her hoary head in disapproval. A little village with important traditions. Land grimaces. Old traditions that are honored and respected by everyone. Now why does that sound familiar? Markle, what's wrong with you? Levixia reaches down to give the man at her feet a pat on the head. He is absolutely fine. He is a good boy, an obedient boy. He respects his elders, never talks back, has respect for his mother River. Isn't that so? Marco's face is contorted in pain. You see the desperation in his eyes as he struggles against the power that has seized control of his mind. Help me. Save my sister. From me. The river will take. The river always takes what belongs to her. Who are you? Who are we? Perhaps we're the waves on the river, or the fish in the deep. Perhaps we're the mist in the water. Are we solid ice, or a raging storm? Why do you ask the question when you already know the answer? Latinna's eyes stare blindly off into the distance. Haven't we already met between the two shores? My sister is wise, but she likes to speak in riddles. Levixia's icy blue lips curl into an amicable smile. We're the three maidens of the river, generous to those on the water, revered by those on the land. We fill nets with fish, keep the filth of the abyss away from our people. We ask for very little in exchange. Ungrateful mortals. Loretta stomps her feet. We do everything for them, and what do we get in return? Nothing. Instead of being thankful for our protection, these ingrates have started praying to some old bowman. Real-life hags. You're actively practicing magic. How fascinating. Listen, there's something I need to ask. Why do you always gather in groups of 3? Enio produces a piece of paper and waits expectantly for an answer. The numbers have their magic, and we have our numbers. 2 has a magic of its own. A pair of lovers, a mother and a daughter, or a teacher and a student. 4 make a crowd. That's too close to 5. Bah. No one can really cast spells in groups of 5. 3 is the most powerful number in the world. Sets of 3 are everywhere you look. Everything in the world is either solid like ice, or liquid like water, or fleeting like fog. Every event was, or is, or will be. Every person is either here, or there, or nowhere. The most powerful spells are woven when there are 3. What a curious explanation. But it contains a number of logical and factual flaws. Did you know that there are more than 3 states of matter? Take plasma, for example. I managed to isolate it once. I even held it in my hands, although not for very long. By the way, did you know that you can determine the severity of your burns by? If you know all the answers, why are you asking us questions? Stop your foolish prattle. It bores us. So you've been deceiving the villagers. They think that they worship the river. They have no clue that they're actually offering sacrifices to 3 hags. Is this deceit? They pray to the river. Are we not the embodiment of the river? They make sacrifices. Do we not accept them? When they ask for help, do we not help? Well, there's gratitude for you, mortals. Oof. We stay awake all night out of concern for their well-being. We fend off demons so they can feel safe. But instead of appreciating our efforts, they call us liars. If it was up to me, I'd make you... Ugh. The hag shakes her fist. You shouldn't insult us like that. We find your accusations offensive. We're not mortal tricksters pretending to be gods. We're one with the river. The villagers have agreed to pay the price for our help. We offer them a fair bargain. Hag glares at Melissa coldly. This stupid girl decided to cheat us. If anyone here has fallen victim to deception, it's us. What's going on here? I don't know. They did something to Markle. They made him kill Jernov. Then they ordered him to bring me here. And now they want... We don't want much, child. Just your wedding wreath. Give it to us, and the 2 of you can leave in peace. After all, we have protected you from all kinds of calamities. We provided your village with food. Though we deserve your respect and gratitude for our gifts, will you begrudge us the one thing we ask of you? Why do you need it? Melissa wipes away her tears. You've killed my husband. I'm a widow now. Why do you need my wedding wreath? Recall Drenoff's words. When the villagers cast away their wreaths, they promised to give their firstborns to the river. Why do the hags want a widow to complete this ritual? It can only be one answer. Melissa doesn't know it yet, but she must be pregnant with her firstborn child. What did you do to Markle? How have you managed to take control of his mind? How does the river control a leaf that falls into its stream? How does the sky control the fog that rolls in off the water? We didn't do anything. We didn't have to. He is a firstborn. That means he belongs to us. In fact, he was promised to us before he was born. We kept him alive because we thought he might prove useful, and we were right. The river is patient. She does not need to hurry. You can take what belongs to her whenever she wants. That's right. He belonged to us before he was even born. He'll do whatever we tell him to do. Rita shrieks with laughter. Melissa, you're with child. If you give them your wreath, you'll be giving away your child as well. The woman places her hands on her belly protectively. She no longer looks afraid. She stares up at the hags in outrage. That's what this is all about. That's why you dragged me here. You didn't want the wreath. You wanted what it represents. You killed the man I loved. Now you want to take my child away from me too. Never. I'll not let that happen. So that means Marco can barely speak. He struggles to finish his sentence. With each word he utters, he sounds less obedient and more angry. You're the reason I killed my brother-in-law. Thanks to me, Melissa's child will never know their father. Now you want to take this child from their mother. I won't let that happen. I won't allow it. Wait, what's going on? Are you trying to rebel against us, boy? Don't forget, you will belong to us for as long as you live. You cannot get rid of us, no matter how hard you try. We just have to say the word. You'll be under our control. Marco grabs a stone from the cave floor and attacks the hag. You hear a disgusting crunching sound as Marco smashes the rock into the hag's arm. The hag shrieks and lashes out at the man, dealing him a powerful blow that causes him to fall to the floor, unconscious. Kill them, sisters. No one leaves this place alive.
Yet another obstacle.
You say so. Oh, whoops, I wasted Icy Prison on all those water elementals. Well, I guess we can get haste out at least. Can I charge anybody? I can. Alright, everybody go after
You've crossed the
her,
wrong
and we're going to charge.
This spell doesn't work.
Or not. Alright, that wasn't too bad. My head. Melissa, are you alright? Let's get out of here. Hurry. Let's get back to the village as soon as we can. This accursed cave makes me feel sick.
The world has suffered enough.
Rabid Rippers. Okay. Let's see what that is. And that shirt we found. Hag's Demise. This cloth grants its wearer a +4 insight bonus on saving throws against hexes and necromancy school spells. A little specific. How often do we deal with hexes? We'll do that instead. Wait, did I misread that? I may have misread that. Yeah. He doesn't cast any offensive spells, so we don't need to worry about that. Get out of here and get back and talk to Marco and Melissa. Alright, how long does this last? For 30 minutes, okay. Thank you for saving us from those monsters. I didn't think I was going to survive. And Markle, I thought I lost him forever. Sister, forgive me. I have no excuse for my actions. It's not your fault, I guess. Those hags were controlling your mind, weren't they? They'd never have ensnared me, but not been such an easy target. I really did not like Chernoff. I was against your marriage, and the hags used that to control me. Melissa looks down. After a while, she answers softly. I don't know if I'll ever be able to really forgive you. You're the only family I have now. What are the two of you going to do next? I'll bury my husband, and the ground, and then, Melissa carefully places a hand on her belly. Eris will be my witness. I'll soon have my hands full. But not here. I don't want to see this river ever again. It's my fault that your daughter will grow up without a father. I know that an uncle is no substitute for a parent, but I swear to do everything I can for her. I assume he's talking about Melissa, because we don't know the sex of the baby. Did you tell the villagers the truth? Did they know that they have been worshipping hags this whole time? I did, but they don't believe me. Melissa casts a glance toward the village, and shakes her head bitterly. They don't want to believe the truth. They say it must have been a nightmare, or that Markle drank too much. They come up with dozens of different explanations, because the truth is just too terrible to bear. They'll keep practicing their rites. I would be surprised if another nasty creature comes to live on the Pikefen in a couple of years. I'm sure there are plenty of foul things that would gladly prey on these villagers and accept their sacrifices. I can't live among these people anymore. Markle, are you free from the evil influence of the hags? I am. The hags are dead. I am my own man now. Thank you. Melissa, I'm sorry for your loss. Thank you. I loved him so much. I thought we had a life ahead of us. She wipes her eyes. Well, it's time to say farewell. Yes. Melissa tries to smile. I pray to Aristil for you every day. Here, take this. This is an old family heirloom. I don't know how many generations it's been in our family, but I want you to have it. Take it as a sign of my gratitude. Hope it will help you on your path to victory. Thank you for everything. Farewell. After everything I've done, I understand if Melissa never wanted to see me again. I'm just glad she hasn't sent me away. I never want to see the river again. I wish I could live somewhere in the desert. Well, I can always come move into Dresden. It's not much safer. I guess Canabras would be a better option. Let me loot his body before he gets buried. Alright, back to Dresden. Right, check on our decrees. Come on, there we go. Thought maybe the game was gonna crash. We're stuck at 92%. Oh hey, Ivu. Ivu holds her head up high, or holds her head high, sedately waves her tail. I'm no longer a plucky adventurer assistant dragon. Being an important dragon advisor is also pretty good, I think. You know, I flew around Dresden and listened to what your crusaders are saying. Basically, they're cowards. I'm not afraid to fly to war with demons, but they are. They mumble about those mythic powers of yours, how much they relied on them, and on and on. Then you had to go and refuse them. And now everyone is asking, how can we defeat the demons? And they are worried. Does it sound like I'm sneaking around and telling tales? But I'm not. I'm giving you advice. You need to find a way to calm these cowards. Why did you decide to become my advisor? What do you mean, why? I can't fight demons very much yet. Do you need help? Besides, it's fun. Advisor Ivu. If I tell someone, they won't believe me. I think I'm making things up. What options do I have? Well, when I'm afraid, I usually eat a little jar of plum marmalade, and it helps. But you probably don't have enough marmalade for the entire army, do you? Also, ask me to go for a fly. I feel better when someone tells me everything will be alright. Maybe you should tell them everything will be alright. Or you could have them go for a fly. I mean, for a walk. When one person is afraid, it doesn't take long before everyone around them is frightened. Yeah, let's do this. I'll talk to the soldiers and raise their morale. That's good. Tell them Ivu is not afraid and says hi to everyone. It's good that I told you about them and gave you advice, because now everyone will feel better. Little Dragon yawns. I like being an advisor, but it's a little boring. Let me think. Maybe I want to be a general instead. How about a mayor? Maybe a cute dragon everyone gives candy to. Well, I think I will ask someone else to advise you while I make up my mind. Commander. Of course. Glad to see you back at the head of the military council. A decision is required of you more urgently than ever. Here's the situation. We don't have an army, in the strictest sense. The enemy is putting up much more of a fight than previously. Judging by the reports, the demons are relying less and less on the armies of their mortal servants, and on the power of simple blades, and more on magic and dark sorceries. We must respond in kind by bolstering our forces with expert spellcasters. I'm prepared to send an order to Canabras at once, requesting the necessary reinforcements. I propose we support our army with bardic magic. Bards learn all kinds of spells in their travels, and their songs can inspire warriors and give them the strength to fight. These demons know their vile magics. I know something stronger than that. The power of the gods. We need some war priests in our army. Their spells will chase away the darkness and heal the wounded. We do well to invite monks into our army. They've been hardened by a lifetime of training. Even demonic corruption cannot harm them. Yeah, but what about those around them? That's not a very good suggestion. The whole point of getting the spellcasters or the war priests is to help everyone else resist the corruption. If you're in need of mages versed in art of killing, you should contact the Daggermark Poisoners Guild. The alchemists are second to none when it comes to making deadly poisons or utilizing them in battle. Demons are immune to poison, are they not? But we've been able to manage with what magic we've had just fine so far. The enemy never stands still. The more serious the threat we become for them, the more substantial will be the forces they throw at us. Gone are the days when the Abyss would casually send hosts of mindless cultists and lower demons. Now we're up against more cunning and skilled opponents who can incinerate a dozen soldiers with a single spell. We must respond to this with magic of our own, or we will lose. Are you sure Canabras is going to send us troops? Without a doubt. Canabras is much safer than we are at the moment, and I'm convinced that the Warden can provide some forces to support us. All of Mendev knows that right now. Dresden is the dam holding back the river of demonic corruption that would otherwise be flooding the south. The kingdom is in the process of mobilization. The Queen Galfrey's March on Eyes has encouraged many who previously shirked military service to join the ranks of the army. Why didn't you leave with Galfrey, Captain Odin? Captain Odin grows pale, but his voice sounds cold and steady. I did put in a request for transfer to the front lines. Unfortunately, it was refused. So I wonder if Ivy replaced another advisor. She was saying she was an advisor. I thought maybe all like the legendary NPCs that showed up, Mephistopheles, Zacharias, Ivu, if they were going to replace my advisors, but he's still here. I command determined that, due to the psychological trauma I suffered during my years of service on the border, I'm no longer fit for battlefield command. He lowers his head. As much as it stings to admit it, they may be right. It's been a long time since I smelled burning flesh and heard the screams of battle. I can't guarantee that, when I do, I'll be able to maintain my composure. That I won't fail the soldiers who will be depending on me. However, I can still serve them by staying where I am. I want to hear the opinions of my advisors. Everyone looks at you expectantly. Sela, are the war priests battle ready? Of course. There are plenty of brave and honest people among them. But serving the gods of light makes it their duty to resist evil. Many war priests made a conscious choice to forego a life of peace, because their ideals wouldn't let them stand idly by. They've studied the military craft, and their blessings and healing spells have saved many a soldier's life. I hate the idea of risking the lives of the god's servants. If they perish, their celestial patrons may resent it and turn their backs on us. Why? We're fighting against the abyss. It's literally what the good gods stand for. Okay. That doesn't make sense. Regil. The monks really withstand demonic magic. Monks are paragons of restraint and iron discipline. They're comparable to the Hell Knights in that regard. Among other things, they bring the values of order to our troops. Let the soldiers see how all demonic machinations and temptations break upon the monk's iron will. Then they themselves will become more calm and resolute. Greybor, tell me more about the Poisoners Guild. They're a creepy bunch. Imagine, if you will, an alchemist and an accomplished scientist who can take your breakfast and make a bomb or a poison that could kill a basilisk out of it. Now imagine that this same alchemist doesn't mind personally shoving his poison into the basilisk's mouth. That's a pretty good description of your average member of the Daggermark's Poisoners Guild. It's true, the blades coated with magical poisons are not as dramatic as calling down lightning from the skies, but they are just as effective and far less conspicuous. You underestimate the power of dark magic, Greybor. A poison dagger can't send every scoundrel in this world to Pharasma, especially if they're immune to poison. Captain Odin, how can bards help us in the battlefield? It's become a fine tradition among Mendevian warriors to go into battle accompanied by songs of daring bards who glorify heroic deeds and strengthen the hand that smites the demons. Their ballads will inspire our soldiers, and their spells can prove useful in the most unexpected situations. Bards. Their tongues are too long. So there's really no good arguments against any of these. At least from the other advisors. Because Odin's rebuttal to the war priest didn't make any sense, and Regil's is just biased. I guess, well, Sela's made sense against Greyboars. Right, everything is clear to me now. The advisors nod respectfully in response to your words. We're going to do the bards. Bards will inspire our warriors. Great. Of course, not every bard is willing to brave the battlefield. I'll personally select the most courageous ones. It'll be a great boon to our troops' morale. I'll send a letter to Canabras immediately, requesting a group of spellcasters to be sent to our aid. I'm certain they will arrive soon, Commander. I sure hope so. Alright, I really just want to look at the decrees real fast. Didn't expect to have a whole conversation when we got back, but I really should. Alright, so nest cleanup. A monster nest that need to be cleared out by fire and steel have appeared in the Crusaders' territory. We get 6,000 logistics experience points. Yeah, sure. Let's do that. Alright, then we're going to rest up. Hopefully no one wants to talk to us after I rest, and then we can assign a new relic decree in the next episode, and then start marching west. We discover those two locations that don't have any quests associated with them.
I'll go ahead.
In fact, just so I don't... What strength check am I failing? Yeah, actually I'm going to call the episode here. We'll rest in the next episode. I just don't want to risk having another conversation with somebody before wrapping this one up. Then we'll check the decrees, we'll sign a new relic decree, and then we will leave and go west to those two locations to the northwest. that we discovered with our army that, again, don't have any quests associated with them. I'm just repeating myself now. Either way, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next one.